A very good morning, class 6. So, class 6, in the last session, we discussed about how the leap year formation take place and how many days were added in the month of February. And furthermore, we discussed the season changes. We all know that there is a change of season from winter to summer, from summer to autumn, from autumn to winters. Now, how this natural phenomena take place, we all discussed. Now, in today's session, we will be discussing summer solstice, winter solstice, and equinox. So, let's begin with our session. Class, I hope you can see the image, and on the right hand side there is an image. Okay, so as you all see the northern part, this is the northern part, this is the shape of the earth, and here there is a northern part which is brighter side. Okay, and we can see that this northern part is slightly tilted towards the sun, and as a result, okay, the sunlight is falling directly. You can see there, because the northern part is tilted and the sunlight is following directly on the tropic of Cancer, and the area, and this area, class, this area receives more heat. Okay, because it is receiving more light, and this area receives more and more heat, that is near the area of the poles. अब यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं क्लास कि जो एरियाज है, these are the areas that is directly facing the sun, they will receive more and more light as compared to the poles. This is our poles, and they will receive less amount of light. Okay, now furthermore, the north pole, we can say that the north pole, this is our north pole, and this is the south pole. The north pole is inclined towards the sun. We can see that our north pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places, these are the places, okay, beyond the Arctic Circle experiences, these places are experiencing, these places will experience continuous daylight. We can see they will experience continuous daylight, okay, for next 6 months. So when they are experiencing continuous daylight for next 6 months, so means in that portion there will be summers. Okay, so we can say that in the northern hemisphere there will be summers, because this portion is receiving direct sunlight from the sun from next 6 months. Okay, so we can say that it is experiencing summer and they are having light. Okay, and it is in the regions of the equator. This is, we know that this is the equator, so it is in the region of equator. Somewhere equator lies here, and it is in the region of the equator, because the sunlight is falling directly here in the regions of equator. Now talking about day and night, class, we know that during summers the day are longer and the nights are shorter. Okay, so there will be the longest, there will be one longest and shortest night that take place on 21st June. So 21st June will be our shortest night and longest day, and we know that during summers the days are longer and the night is shorter. Now at this time, the southern hemisphere, we are talking about now southern hemisphere, yeah, we are talking about southern hemisphere, and you can see that southern hemisphere lies here. This is the southern hemisphere, this is the southern hemisphere, and it is on the dark side because they are experiencing less amount of sunlight. Okay, the nights will be longer and the days will be shorter, and in this situation we call it as winters. So hence we can say that in one part of the world in one part we are experiencing summers, and on the other part we are experiencing winters. Okay, and this position of earth is called solar solstice. Okay, what we call them as solar solstice. So this position we call them as solar solstice. Okay, this position in which there will be summers in northern hemisphere and winters in southern hemisphere. This position of earth we called it as a southern we call it as a summer solstice. Okay, now talking about on 22nd December, our next date is 22nd December. We can see on the right hand side. Okay, this is the situation. Now we are going to deal here the rays of the sun. This is the rays and this is the rays of the sun. They are following directly towards the Tropic of Cancer. These are following directly towards the Tropic of Cancer, and which is there at the south, and the south pole is tilted. We can say that the south poles is tilted, and the rays falls vertically. We are seeing this, the vertically the rays is falling. Okay, and a larger portion, we can say that the southern hemisphere, a large portion of the southern hemisphere is getting heat and light from the sun, and as a result there will be summers in southern hemisphere, whereas the nights will be shorter and the days will be longer. We know that in summers the days are long and the nights are short. So now the southern hemisphere will be experiencing summers. Okay, and the northern hemisphere will be experiencing winters. Okay, and this position of the earth is called winter solstice. Okay, summer solstice was one in which there were summers in the northern hemisphere. Now winter solstice is the position of the earth in which the northern hemisphere is experiencing winter. Now talking about two of the most very important date, that is 23rd March and 23rd September. These ones we are dealing now with them. Okay, and they fall here, the sun fall on the equator. We can see that these are the sun rays and they are following at the equator, and at this time the position of the poles, we can see the poles. Here are the poles, here are the poles, and here are the poles. Okay, position of the poles is neither tilted. We can say that the poles are not bended towards the sun, so the whole of the earth experience equal amount of day and night. Okay, and this phenomena we called as equinox. As the name suggests, equinox, it means equal. So the phenomena in which we have equal amount of sunlight which is being received by the earth, and there would be equal day and night, we called it as equinox, in which the whole of the earth experience equal days and equal nights. Now talking about the autumn season. Okay, so on 23rd September, okay, we have equinox, and it is there in autumn season, because we know that winters will be coming in the northern hemisphere and spring will be there in the southern hemisphere. Okay, and the opposite will be there in the case on 21st March. We know that in March summers will be there in your northern hemisphere and winters in your southern hemisphere. So thus we can say that when there is a spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere, obviously that one part will receive more light rather than the another. The one part will have winters, another part will have summers. So class, do you know why this phenomena occurs? So the answers was because of rotation we have change in day and night, and because of revolution we have change in the season. Okay, so this is the nominal process, and this happens daily. Okay, days and night occurs daily because of rotation and because of revolution we have the earth. So I hope you understood the chapter. Please make sure to read the NCRT and submit the work timely. Thank you.